It's been another terrific and really fulfilling term. Since I last wrote to you, we've had some good news on the IB academic front. The top mark we got went up to 99.95, and indeed our IB median went up to 97.3. It's probably worth, if you're in a dinner party or something like that and the issue of the HSC league tables come up, that although it's a very complicated statistical story, that just to be able to say they're just the HSC results, and a whole group of our boys do IB, and indeed a whole lot of the band 6 type of boys do IB, and you can see those really strong results coming out there, which also lift all of our total results. We don't ever stop trying to get better on the academic front. We're doing a couple of things this term. We've got the academic review and probation, and that has really kicked off well. The boys that are on it have surprised themselves and sometimes their tutors and housemasters by actually doing a lot better. So we're really pleased with the way that's working. There's catch-up class, which happens after school for boys who aren't doing their homework. We have worked on getting, it's a bit back to the future, but we've got a paper diary for a whole lot of the boys, and we're continuing to roll that out. So if the boy likes using Canvas and the online, that's great, but there's a physical version as well. It's worth saying actually on the homework front that if in year 7 you should be doing about an hour, a little bit more than an hour and a half a night. By year 11 and 12 you should be sort of averaging 3 or more a night. That's probably a heavier evening somewhere and a lighter evening somewhere else, with a sort of graded step up in the years in between. So if your son is substantially or regularly doing less than that, it's probably time to have a conversation with your son's mentor. We've also got lots of teachers as part of a teacher development program going into each other's classes this term. It's working a treat. I actually had in one of my classes, I had 6 teachers, which really made me up my game a little bit. The purpose of this is to propagate best teaching around the school. Everyone's picking up something from somebody else, so it's just lifting the overall performance. We were all shocked with those testimonies for the young women about sexual assault and lack of consent, and with each new week, just the layers that kept emerging, and I'm sure will continue to emerge. So we feel as an all-boys school that we have, and that we should have, a disproportionate obligation to speak to boys about it and have things embedded in our programs. We have been doing things for a number of years, but we are doing more already in terms of assembly speeches, getting the mentors to speak, getting external speakers in, and also asking you as parents to speak to your sons about it. But we realise that's just scratching the surface, and we are committed to creating a program that really goes from the specific issues of consent to the wider cultural issues of what it is to be kind and what it is to have respectful relationships. And we think that's just about some of the most important work that we're going to be doing this year. There was a fantastic International Women's Day forum after school, where we also had MLC and PLC and just the quality of the speakers was just great, and the insights they offered to all of the kids. We also had Craig Foster come and speak to the boys at the Ethics Centre about ethics in sport. There's lots of other things happening, and if I skip through them a little bit, it's just because we don't want the video to be 15 minutes long. But the assemblies have been really good. They're basically twice as long, half as often. What it means is that the boys themselves are running them. I actually sit in the audience for most of them, and it's great to see the way they've taken it by the horns, treated them as an entertainment event as much as an information event, and you can really see the greater life that's coming out of them. The magazine Censored has come out. There's been 2 editions this term. They've been really good. The play was fantastic. There were 2 senior plays. There was COSI in year 12 and there was Popular Mechanicals in year 11, both of them really funny. We also had a great Canines of the College Day where staff brought in their dogs. Mr. Potter brought in his perennial favourite Lacey, who's about as big as about 4 students put together. And we also had a really good Year 8 Mothers and Sons dinner, which was sort of a catch-up from last year. The Year 7 one was brilliant as well. Lots of new parents and new kids really getting a sense of what Newington's all about. On the sport front, there was a lot of spirit and quite a lot of success as well. The senior swimming squad came first and won the GPS trophy. The water polo, the first, the seconds and the 16As all won the GPS and the CAS. The basketball first won the Rashke Shield. So lots of success coming through there. The rowers at the head of the river, there were two podium finishes, the seconds and the first 4. And also there's quite a lot of success at the Nationals down in Tasmania. Lots of good results across the board in the cricket as well. Really keen actually to try to get around to all of the sports, not just the firsts and the seconds. And I do make a real effort to do that. But with so many teams, it can be a bit tricky. So this year we actually put all of the teams on a chocolate wheel, and the team which came up trumps, which is the 13Gs football, is a team that I'm going to be particularly supporting. We're going to be having a morning tea to hear all about the strategy. We're going to have a post-season lunch. They're going to get a game professionally videoed and commentated. They're getting jerseys, and I'm going to try and get to as many of their games as possible. So I really look forward to working with the 13Gs football. So Lindfield again, working with the Convoy for Hope people to getting trees that they're propagating and growing so that they can be used for regeneration of areas really affected by the bushfires. Wyvern are actually planting wattle seeds, and bear with me here, the wattle seeds have actually been in space. They've been on the International Space Station, and they're going to compare the wattle seeds that have been in space to the wattle seeds that are on the ground. So that's going to be a really fascinating project. In both Wyvern and Lindfield, philosophy lessons have started up from K to 6. It's using this thing called a community of inquiry model, where the kids just bring big ideas coming out of stories, and just it really uses them to sort of just open their minds. And that just means that I think probably the only school in the state that offer now philosophy from K all the way to 12 in an unbroken fashion. I always love going to the ELC and was able to go there this term as part of Book Week. It was also a good opportunity to welcome Mr. Robert Benson, who's the new director of the ELC. Have a great Easter, and I look forward to seeing your sons next term.